The man who counted rain every evening, an old man sat beside his window and counted the raindrops. Nobody knew why. He had no television, no phone, and no visitors. Just a wooden chair and a notebook. When rain started, he opened the notebook and made tiny marks. 1 line, 2 lines, 10 lines. Hours passed quietly. The neighbors thought he was strange. Children laughed. But the old man never explained. One afternoon, a young boy asked, "Why do you count rain?" The old man smiled and said, "Because rain never repeats. Every drop is different." The boy didn't understand. Days turned into months. The boy returned often and sat silently beside him. They counted together. Years later, the old man was gone. The chair remained. When rain returned, the boy opened the old notebook. On the last page was written, "People chase exciting moments and forget that quiet moments disappear too." The boy sat down and started counting. Outside, the rain continued. The boy returned the next evening. The rain had stopped. The old chair stood beside the window, untouched. The notebook remained on the table. He opened the first page. No dates, no numbers, only short sentences. Rain was softer today. The wind arrived before sunset. A bird stayed for 12 minutes. Page after page, there were notes about ordinary things. Nothing important, nothing exciting. But the boy kept reading. The room felt strangely calm. He looked outside. People walked fast. Cars passed. Doors opened and closed. Then he noticed something. He had never watched these small things before. He sat in the chair. No rain. So he listened instead. A dog barked far away. Leaves moved slowly. Someone closed a window. He opened the notebook and wrote. Today there was no rain, but the world still made quiet sounds. Then he waited. Nothing happened. And for the first time, that felt enough. The next day, the boy came earlier. The sky was clear. No clouds. No rain. He sat in the old chair and opened the notebook. He waited. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Nothing happened. He looked at the clock. Only 1 minute had passed. The room felt slower than normal. He listened. A distant bicycle bell. Footsteps outside. A bird landing somewhere he could not see. He wrote, "Time moves differently when nobody is waiting for anything." The boy stayed. An hour passed. Sunlight moved across the floor. The room became warmer, then colder. Still nothing important happened. He turned another page. A sentence was written there. "If a day feels empty, look closer." So he looked. Dust floating in sunlight. A curtain moving gently. The sound of his own breathing. Small things, very small things. Before leaving, he wrote one more line. "Today I watched almost nothing, but somehow I remember all of it." He closed the notebook. Outside, the evening arrived quietly. The next morning, the boy arrived with a pencil and a small cup of tea. The room looked exactly the same. Chair, window, notebook. He sat down and opened a new page. Nothing happened. Clouds moved slowly. Someone walked past the house. A bird landed and left. He waited. Then he noticed something strange. The quieter the room became, the more details appeared. A tiny crack in the wall, the sound of pages moving in the wind, the soft noise of distant rain somewhere far away. He wrote everything. Hours passed. When evening came, he looked at the notebook. Many pages were filled, but nothing exciting had happened. He smiled. Before leaving, he wrote one final sentence. Maybe quiet days are not empty. Maybe they are just too slow to notice. He closed the notebook and placed it back on the table. Outside, the first raindrop touched the window. The rain returned quietly. The boy sat in the chair and watched the drops slide across the glass. This time he did not count. He only watched. One drop joined another, then disappeared. The room became darker as evening arrived. He opened the notebook again. Most pages were full of small moments. No adventures, no big events, just days. He turned to a blank page and waited. After a long time he wrote, "Today I stopped looking for something to happen." The rain continued. He stayed until night. Outside, lights turned on one by one. A window closed. A bicycle passed. Then silence. Before leaving, he looked at the empty chair beside him. For a moment, it felt like someone had been sitting there all along. He smiled and closed the notebook. Tomorrow, he decided, he would come again, even if nothing happened. The next day, there was no rain. The boy still came. The air felt still. He opened the notebook and looked at the empty page. Nothing to write. So he waited. Morning became afternoon. Light slowly moved across the floor. A leaf touched the window and stayed there. Somewhere far away, someone laughed. Then everything became quiet again. The boy looked around the room. For the first time, he noticed that the clock had stopped. He checked it. The hands pointed to the same time. But outside, the day continued. People moved. Clouds changed. Wind came and left. He smiled and wrote, "Maybe time never stopped. Maybe I only started paying attention." He closed the notebook. Before leaving, he moved the old chair slightly closer to the window. Not because someone would return, just because it felt right. Outside, evening arrived slowly, and the room waited for another ordinary day. The following evening, the boy arrived later than usual. The room was darker. He opened the window a little. Cool air entered. The notebook stayed closed for a while. He sat quietly. No thoughts, no plans. Only the sound of evening. A cat crossed the road. Someone turned off a light. The sky slowly changed color. Then he opened the notebook. He did not write immediately. He looked at all the old pages. Rain, wind, birds, quiet days, small sounds. He realized something. None of the pages were important alone, but together they felt like a life. He turned to a blank page and wrote, "Nothing special happened today. I came, I stayed, and evening arrived." He read the sentence again. It seemed enough. He closed the notebook and placed it carefully on the table. Outside, night continued without hurry. The next day, the boy arrived and found the window already open. The curtain moved slowly. No one was there. Everything else looked the same. He sat down. For a long time, he did nothing. Then he noticed the room sounded different. Not louder, just different. as if silence had its own small changes. He opened the notebook. A loose paper slipped out. Only one sentence was written. Stay long enough and ordinary things begin to speak. He placed the paper back. Then he listened. Wind. A chair making a soft sound. Birds somewhere far away. His own breathing. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. He stopped checking. Before leaving, he wrote, "Today I heard things that were always here." He closed the notebook. The room became quiet again, but it no longer felt empty.